Most people over 60 hear the same advice again and again. Just keep walking, it sounds logical. It sounds safe. And honestly, it feels reassuring, like you're already doing the right thing. For decades, doctors, fitness magazines, and well-meaning friends have repeated this as the golden rule of healthy aging. And yes, walking is good for you. But here's the part almost nobody explains. Walking alone is not enough to protect your independence after 60. That's not opinion. It's something orthopedic specialists and physical therapists see every day in real clinics. Many older adults walk regularly. They stay active. They do everything they've been told. And yet, over time, they notice subtle changes. Standing up feels harder. Stairs feel heavier. Balance feels less certain than it used to. So what's actually happening? Research following adults over 65 has shown that even consistent walkers can experience measurable loss of leg strength and stability over just a few years. Not because walking failed, but because walking only trains part of what the body needs. Walking keeps you moving forward, but it doesn't provide a strong enough signal to maintain power, reaction speed, or the stabilizing muscles that protect you from falls. And after 60, strength isn't about looking athletic. It's about staying independent. Being able to stand up without help. Catch yourself when you stumble. Carry groceries. Climb stairs without fear. Underneath this gradual change is something called sarcopenia, the natural loss of muscle tissue that accelerates with age. Muscle mass slowly declines, but strength often declines even faster. At the same time, joints lose cushioning. Reaction time slows slightly. Balance systems become less precise. Falls don't happen because people stop walking. They happen because the body loses control over movement. Walking mostly trains forward motion. It rarely challenges the muscles that stabilize you side to side, help you rise from a chair, or steady your body during sudden movements. That's the missing piece. And here's the encouraging part. This decline is manageable. It doesn't require a gym membership. It doesn't require heavy weights. And it definitely doesn't require pushing through pain. In fact, many orthopedic specialists rely on simple wall-based movements, exercises that are controlled, safe, and surprisingly effective for rebuilding strength and balance. Today, we're going to go through 5 of these movements together, and one of them, especially the last one, often changes everything for people who feel like their strength has been slipping away. You'll find research references in the description if you'd like to explore further. Before we begin, tell me your age and where you're watching from in the comments. It's amazing to see this community growing stronger together. All right, let's start with number 5. And trust me, this first one may surprise you. Exercise number 5 is the wall ankle press. At first glance, this exercise looks almost too simple. And that's exactly why many people overlook it. Most seniors don't think about ankle strength until something goes wrong. A missed step, a sudden wobble, or that moment when balance feels less reliable than it used to. But here's what many people aren't told. Your ankles are actually your first line of defense when it comes to balance. Every time you step on uneven ground, every time you turn quickly, every time you slightly lose your footing, your ankles react first to keep you upright. Deep inside the lower leg are muscles like the gastrocnemius, the soleus, and several smaller stabilizing muscles surrounding the ankle joint. These muscles make tiny adjustments constantly, often without you noticing when they're working well. They are what turn a potential fall into a quick recovery. But with age, these stabilizers can weaken quietly. When that happens, feedback from the feet to the brain slows slightly. The body reacts a fraction of a second later than it should. Instead of making a smooth correction, the body overcompensates, and that's when people begin to feel wobbly or unsure. Research has shown that improving ankle strength and control can significantly reduce fall risk. In some studies, targeted ankle training led to meaningful improvements in balance and stability for older adults. Here's the surprising part. Walking alone doesn't train these muscles very well. Walking is rhythmic and forward-focused. It keeps you moving, but it doesn't challenge the small stabilizers that protect you when something unexpected happens. That's where this exercise comes in. Stand facing a wall. Place your hands lightly against it, not to lean heavily, just for gentle support. Keep your feet about hip-width apart. Now slowly press through the balls of your feet and rise onto your toes. Take about 3 seconds to lift. Pause briefly at the top. Then lower your heels back down slowly, taking another 3 seconds. No rushing, no bouncing, just calm, controlled movement. Start with 10 repetitions. 2 sets, once per day. And here's the most important detail. Progress is not about speed or height. It's about control. As this becomes easier, slow the movement down even more. That slower pace helps retrain balance reflexes and strengthens communication between your brain and your muscles. This is one reason orthopedic specialists often recommend ankle-focused exercises. They rebuild confidence, especially when walking on uneven ground, stepping off curbs, or navigating stairs. Many people begin to feel steadier without even realizing why. If this is already helping you understand your body a little better, take a moment to like the video so more seniors can find this guidance. And consider subscribing, because we share simple, safe, science-based movements like this regularly. All right, let's move on to number 4. Exercise number 4 is the wall hip hold. At first glance, this exercise doesn't look dramatic. There's no big movement, no sweating, no fast repetitions. And because of that, many people assume it isn't doing much. But here's the reality. Some of the most important muscles for balance don't need large movements. They need precise activation. The main muscles working here are the gluteus medius and the deep stabilizing muscles around your hips. These muscles act like built-in stabilizers. They keep your pelvis level when you walk, step sideways, or stand on one leg. Think about everyday moments. Standing while putting on socks, stepping off a curb, turning in the kitchen. Each of these depends on side-to-side hip stability. When these muscles weaken, the body begins to sway slightly without you even noticing. Knees absorb extra pressure. The lower back starts compensating. Over time, this leads to fatigue, discomfort, and increased fall risk. Research on older adults has shown that targeted hip stability training can significantly improve balance performance and movement confidence. Here's the key detail most people miss. Walking moves your hips forward and backward, but it rarely challenges them side to side. And side-to-side control is exactly what helps prevent lateral falls, which doctors consider especially dangerous because they often lead to hip injuries. That's why this exercise matters. Stand sideways next to a wall. Rest one hand lightly against it for balance, not to lean, just for reassurance. Now slowly lift the outside leg a few inches away from your body. It doesn't need to go high. What matters is that your standing leg stays steady and controlled. Hold the position for about 20 seconds. Breathe normally. Keep your shoulders relaxed. You'll feel the muscles on the side of your standing hip working. That's exactly the goal. Then gently lower the leg and switch sides. Repeat twice per side, every other day. If 20 seconds feels difficult at first, start with 10 seconds. Stability builds gradually. Orthopedic specialists value this type of exercise because it trains your body to resist side-to-side movement, the kind that often catches people off guard. Over time, this quiet strength translates into smoother walking, stronger steps, and more confidence in everyday movement. Simple, calm, but incredibly powerful. All right, let's continue to number 3. Exercise number 3 is the wall march. At first glance, this one may look simple, almost too simple. But don't let that fool you. This exercise isn't mainly about strength. It's about restoring communication between your brain and your legs. And after 60, that communication becomes one of the most important predictors of safe movement. Many people believe falls happen because muscles become weak, but in reality, timing often declines before strength does. Your brain sends the signal to step, but your leg responds a fraction of a second late. That tiny delay is enough to catch a toe on a step, miss the edge of a curb, or lose rhythm while climbing stairs. The wall march retrains that timing. It teaches your nervous system to reconnect movement with awareness. The primary muscles involved are your hip flexors, core stabilizers, and quadriceps. The muscles responsible for lifting your leg cleanly and placing it down with control. When these muscles stop firing together smoothly, steps become shorter. The foot may begin dragging slightly. Balance starts to feel uncertain. You might notice yourself shuffling more, without fully realizing why. Clinical research on older adults has shown that slow, controlled marching patterns can significantly improve gait safety, coordination, and step confidence. And here's the reason. Walking repeats the same automatic pattern again and again, but slowing the movement down gives your nervous system time to relearn precision, and precision is what prevents trips. Here's how to do it. Stand facing a wall. Place your hands lightly against it for gentle support, just enough to feel steady. Now slowly lift one knee toward hip height. Move smoothly and deliberately. Take about 2 seconds to lift. Pause briefly. Then take 2 seconds to lower it back down. Alternate legs. Focus on control, not height. Keep your posture tall. Your core gently engaged. Your breathing calm and steady. Aim for 10 lifts per leg. Rest if needed. Then complete a second set. If lifting the knee high feels challenging, start smaller. Even a few inches off the ground is enough to begin retraining coordination. Orthopedic specialists often recommend this exercise because it improves stair safety and reduces tripping risk, two of the most common concerns after 60. And over time, many people notice something subtle but powerful. Their steps feel lighter, their feet clear the ground more easily, and walking begins to feel smoother and more natural again. All right, let's move on to number 2. Exercise number 2 is the wall sit, partial depth. At first glance, this might look easy, just leaning against a wall and holding still. But don't let the simplicity fool you, because this movement quietly trains some of the most important muscles for independence after 60. And independence doesn't mean lifting heavy weights. It means standing up from a chair without pushing on your knees. It means getting out of a car without hesitation. It means rising from the sofa smoothly instead of bracing yourself first. The primary muscles working here are your quadriceps, your gluteus maximus, and the deep stabilizing muscles along your spine. Together, these muscles control one of the most essential daily actions, standing up against gravity. When they weaken, chairs seem lower every year, stairs feel steeper, and simple transitions begin to require more effort than they should. Clinical research has shown that controlled wall-supported holds can significantly improve chair rise ability and lower body stability in older adults when practiced consistently. And that matters, because the ability to stand up safely is strongly linked to fall prevention and long-term independence. Walking alone doesn't challenge these muscles enough. Walking moves you forward, but it rarely builds the sustained strength needed to rise and stabilize your body. Here's how to do it safely. Stand with your back gently against a wall. Step your feet slightly forward, about shoulder width apart. Now slowly slide down the wall to a partial depth. Not deep, not uncomfortable. Just enough to feel your thighs engage. Your knees should feel supported, not strained. Your back stays relaxed against the wall. Hold this position for about 20 to 30 seconds. Breathe normally. Keep your shoulders relaxed. Focus on steady control rather than pushing through discomfort. Then slowly slide back up. Rest. Repeat twice. As you become stronger, increase the time you hold, not how low you go. Depth is not the goal. Stability is. This is why orthopedic rehabilitation programs rely on wall sits so often. They build real-world strength safely, without unnecessary joint pressure. And over time, many people notice something encouraging. Standing up feels smoother, more controlled, more confident. All right, now let's move into the final exercise. And this is the one many specialists consider the most important of all. Exercise number 1. The wall-assisted sit-to-stand. And honestly, this may be the single most important movement for protecting your independence after 60. It doesn't look flashy. It's not complicated. But it trains almost every system your body depends on to stay strong and self-reliant. Your quadriceps, your glutes, your core muscles, your balance system, your coordination, all working together at the same time, just like they do in real life. Because independence isn't built in a gym, it's built in everyday movements. Standing up, sitting down, moving safely from one position to another without hesitation or fear. And here's something many people don't realize. The ability to rise from a chair is one of the strongest predictors of long-term mobility and fall risk. Research consistently shows that structured sit-to-stand training significantly reduces fall risk and improves functional strength in older adults. Walking alone cannot replace this. Walking keeps you active, but it doesn't challenge the controlled strength needed to lower yourself safely or rise against gravity. And those are the moments where independence is either protected or slowly lost. Here's how to do it safely. Stand in front of a sturdy chair. Keep a wall behind you for added confidence and safety if needed. Position your feet about hip-width apart. Now slowly lower yourself into the chair. Take about 3 seconds to sit down. Feel the control, no dropping, no rushing. Pause briefly once seated. Then lean forward slightly and stand back up using your legs as much as possible. Use your hands lightly if needed. That's perfectly okay. The goal is progress, not perfection. Aim for 8 repetitions. 2 sets. About 3 times per week. Focus on smooth movement, steady breathing, controlled transitions. Orthopedic specialists recommend this exercise because it mirrors real life exactly. Every day you sit and stand dozens of times, and every repetition is a chance to strengthen the systems that keep you independent. Let's be honest for a moment. Balance is not luck. Mobility is not genetics alone. Independence is trained. These 5 wall-based exercises address what walking alone cannot provide. Targeted resistance, controlled movement, real-world strength. Just 15 minutes, a few days per week. No gym. No complicated equipment. No overwhelming routines. Start slowly. Progress gently. Because at this stage of life, consistency always beats intensity. This isn't about adding more years to life. It's about adding more movement to the years you already have. Now I'd love to hear from you. If you had to start with just one exercise today, which one would it be? Tell us in the comments. And if this kind of clear, practical guidance helps you, consider subscribing. We'll continue sharing surgeon-informed strategies designed to protect your strength, balance, and independence. Remember this: you are not too late. Your body is still capable of adapting. And decline is not your destiny.